Hello, everyone. I am Fozzie or Cam, and welcome to the Everything Podcast. We have a lot of things to talk about today, such as Hugh Jackman coming to the MCU and Deadpool confirmed to be in the MCU, and it's all so awesome. But I'm here with my co-host Will, as always. How you doing today, Will?
Doing great, Cam. Look forward to all the things we have to discuss today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I am just so excited for this episode because we have so many awesome things to talk about. Oh man, so let's just start off with our opinions on Hugh Jackman, confirmed to be Wolverine. And it's not going to be the Wolverine from the X-Men movies or the Logan movies, whatever that is, the Fox movies, because he's dead. He died in Logan. Um,
So this is a new version then, right?
yes,
Cam,
it's a new version,
yeah.
totally new. They said that in the second video they made today,
Okay.
which is weird because I didn't think they'd make a second video about that.
Yeah.
Was strange, but it was
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because you've seen him in the previous films, what are your thoughts on this new version of Wolverine coming to the MCU?
I think it'll be very interesting because obviously Deadpool is a more comedic character, and Wolverine. I mean, he has his scenes, but he's no Deadpool. That's for sure. He's no Wade Wilson. So I think it'll be really entertaining to see him in Deadpool 3. Um, and it's been long known, like Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have their own rivalry, which is utterly hilarious. And they will definitely have great on-screen chemistry with each other. And not only do the actors have kind of a dispute, the characters also do, because Deadpool breaks the fourth wall and he kind of knows he's Ryan Reynolds or something. I don't really know how the fourth wall breaking goes in the MCU, which I actually we'll talk about later in the episode because we're talking about She-Hulk. Um, but I think it'll be just really fun to see Hugh and Ryan acting together. I'm just going to enjoy this so much.
What's your favorite of the two Deadpool films that have come out so far?
Um, I particularly enjoy the second one. It's just really funny, I think, and I think it has the better story because the first one you have to deal with the origin story, and that's not as entertaining. Even Ryan Reynolds has said it himself. He said, the second one, now that we've gotten through the origin story, we can really do what we want to do now. Because, obviously, if you want to do a superhero franchise, you need to start somewhere. But that being said, I don't think the first one's bad at all. I think they're both solid films. And I think the third one, now that it's going to be rated R in the MCU, with Kevin Feige producing, I mean, that's just like a bonus. And with Hugh Jackman, it's going to be great. And do you plan on watching the Deadpool movies anytime soon, Will?
With this and with Deadpool now being in the MCU, definitely.
Yeah, totally. I cannot wait to discuss those movies on the podcast.
And do you think that the X-Men will eventually come into the MCU?
Well, we already have some mutants. We have Namor confirmed to be a mutant.
Okay.
And actually,
we had the variant of Professor X, obviously.
Yeah, and we had
Multiverse of Madness.
Camilla Khan was confirmed to be a mutant as well in the Miss Marvel show.
So she is a mutant,
yeah,
actually.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so the lead character is a mutant. That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
wow.
When I was watching the show, they had this little line. They just said something about mutant. I was like, oh. Then I realized, yeah, wow. And I think it's in the final episode, I believe. You can go back and watch it, and they do say it. I believe it's Bruno who says it.
Amazing.
Remember, he's trying to find out. They thought she was Asgardian at one point, and they figured out that she is a mutant, which is cool. It's really cool. So, yeah, I'm excited to get... I'm glad they're doing it really slowly and not just launching him right into the MCU.
Do you think these mutants and stuff is all kind of in the lead up to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and all that good stuff?
Yes, but that's pretty much everything in the MCU right now. It's a lead up to the Kang Dynasty. I feel like everything well, even Spider-Man No Way Home, which was a little disconnected from the main story arc of the MCU, still
But
had multiverse.
it does have the
exactly. So
it deals with the multiverse, which Ken
maybe a show like
Secret
Hawkeye
Wars will also
something.
deal with. Yeah.
Or Falcon and the Winter Soldier stands apart. And I'm sure we'll get more movies like that don't have to do too much with multiverse, like Thor: Love and Thunder. That was
and it doesn't seem like will Guardians 3 have any multiverse stuff in it, or do you think that'll just be a
I think
normal
we'll get
film
some
as well?
things because I think the people who survive or who continue to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to have a prominent role in the big two Avengers movies. So
Okay. Well, but films like Blade and Thunderbolts per se, like, do you think those though will have any multiverse stuff in them? Because it doesn't seem like it, or
I guess,
am I missing something there?
Yeah, I guess. Blade.
Like, let me ask you this: like, what films coming up do you think will not have any multiverse stuff in
Thunderbolts, no. The new Captain America, New World Order. Blade, I could see both because he's a supernatural character. I don't know much about Blade, and I've also heard there's some really troubled production right now.
Well, their director is stepping down. I
Oh
saw
my
today.
gosh. Kevin Feige said the script is awful. It was only 90 pages long. Apparently, there are only 2 fight scenes. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true officially, but I heard it wasn't great. So not looking good, and I think Mahershala Ali is gonna do a great job if he's given the right material, which it's clear that he's not, and I believe they're gonna reshoot the entire movie, or I've heard people say they should reshoot the entire movie, which is disappointing, but
not great stuff to hear about any film.
Yeah.
When you hear stuff like that. Boy.
I also don't think Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is gonna have too much to do with that. I think that movie is going to stand alone. On its own, and that's a good.
I think that'll just be just an epic, emotional smackdown of a film.
Almost
I can't
3
wait.
hours long.
Yeah, 2 hours and 41 minutes.
I am psyched. The second longest MCU movie. I am so excited. That's exactly what I want. And
how long was Eternals? Because that couldn't have been too much far behind that. At what, 2 hours and 30 something minutes?
Yeah,
I assume
that sounds about right. I believe No Way Home is the third longest movie, and then Eternals is fourth.
Infinity War's up there, right? At its what,
Yeah,
like 228 or something like that?
Yeah, it must be, yeah. I know, obviously, Endgame's number one with it being over 3 hours.
Well, that was just... Do you think Secret Wars could be over 3 hours? You can't count it out, right?
Well, since they're releasing so close to each other, I could see them just being maybe a good 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours 15, because they're coming out so close to each other. But I could also see them going crazy and doing full 3 hours.
Yeah. But, like, just with this mutant stuff, so Namor, Kamala Khan, who else has been confirmed to be a mutant besides those two? Who you said?
Alright, Namor, Kamala Khan, well, and we got Professor X and the Multiverse of Madness, but we don't have anyone else confirmed to be a mutant yet.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, and the Marvels. I don't think that will have much to do with the multiverse. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think so. I assume that'll just be that team of 3 women fighting their own stuff. I don't see how... I would agree with you on that. That'll probably deal with its own stuff. And I don't think any of their, like, shows coming up, like Secret Invasion or Daredevil Born Again or Echo or Armor Wars, I can't see them having much to do with the multiverse.
Maybe that's why they're doing these TV shows, to kind of...
It seems like if there's going to be multiverse stuff, that'll be on the big screen and not on the small screen. It seems like... And because of, like, how big it is, like, multiple worlds and stuff, like, it kind of seems, like, meant for the big screen. Like, look at No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse catastrophes like that are meant to be on the big screen.
Totally, yeah. And I'm just so excited to see where the multiverse goes in the MCU. Because in Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home, it was so cool to see all this awesome stuff. And I also wanted to ask you if you saw that picture of Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, who looked very beat up from Kang attacking him.
Did
you see that photo?
I did not yet, but I will go and look for that. Now, I think actually, I know I wasn't a fan of the first 2 Ant-Man films, but I do have excitement
it's looking good.
for Quantumania because of the multiverse ramifications and the confirmation that it's going to lead directly into the events of the Kang Dynasty, which has me very excited.
And
just the fact that the movie is going to feature the big bad of the entire multiverse saga is very exciting to me.
2 things. I just want to point out that I totally predicted that Scott Lang was going to die in this movie. Like, way before this picture was leaked. So, I totally predicted that.
Would you say that you're like 120% sold on that now?
No. I can't go that far just yet. I'm a solid
90?
80% sure.
80%. Do you think the Wasp could die?
I don't think she's going to die.
Okay.
I think
do you think she could play a big role in either of the 2 upcoming Avengers films?
I think so, because of the whole quantum thing. And she had already met Kang, so I think that'll help the Avengers out. And I think Scott's daughter will also play a part.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to have her whole suit and everything.
Well, it could make sense if they make his daughter a superhero. That could make sense if they would kill one of them off. And, bring in her. I could see that maybe killing off him and bringing her in. But also, killing off the lead of a movie is a very bold thing to do. But it could also be really genius in establishing how much of a villain Kang could be.
Yeah. Let's see. When Thanos just shoved Gamora off a cliff. Ripped stone out of Vision's skull. Let's see, what else? What other big kills did he have? And we all thought Tony Stark died when he got stabbed.
Tony Stark actually owes his life to Doctor Strange for saying, spare his life and I'll give you the stone.
Yeah.
Look, they're both, Tony Stark and Stephen Strange have had their many moments of being selfish human beings, but Tony Stark needs to be unselfish and give a big thank you to Doctor Strange on that one.
Yeah. And I also wanted to talk about She-Hulk. Oh boy, I had high hopes for this show. I had high hopes. Now, am I going to say it's as bad as Miss Marvel still? No, it still entertains me. It might not. Miss Marvel bored me. It really bored me. I didn't care at all about any characters except for Bruno, Kamala, Kamala's mom, Kamala's dad, and that's it. Those are the only characters I liked in that show. I don't care about that other stupid guy with the bandana. That might have been a bit harsh, but I didn't find him a compelling character. A lot of characters in the show make me... It's not like I'm just bored by She-Hulk. And some of the jokes make me laugh. Like, how they change the opening title every episode. Like, episode 6 was called Just Jen. That made me laugh. But some of it's awful. The CGI, let's start off with that. And I know you're not overly critical of CGI, but Will.
Well, you have more of a eye toward that stuff than me, Cam. And with that also being, something that you may want to go into in your life, you have a much better eye than me at spotting stuff like that. So I think that has to do with it as well.
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like the way they shoot this show is just... hang on, let me rephrase that. Action scenes look really wonky. Like that thing with, what's your face?
Titania?
Titania. Yeah, Titania.
Yeah.
What an awful fight scene that was. And, let's see here. We had that, Invincible Man, Immortal Man, whatever it was. That was
falling
weird.
Out of the building? Yeah.
It was cool, I guess, but it was really weird. And still, no Daredevil! Nothing! I'm so mad. And I also heard Charlie Cox said, this will have no setup whatsoever for Daredevil Born Again. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Actually, you're right, yeah. When you're done, I will speak on Daredevil, but please continue.
If the show's gonna set or a movie's gonna set up Daredevil in his own show, it better not be She-Hulk, because Daredevil's, which I think we need to put an emphasis on this. Daredevil's not a fully serious character like the Batman or anything. He has his funny moments, but he's not Jennifer Walters. He doesn't break the fourth wall.
Daredevil is nothing close to a funny show. That is a dark, riveting masterpiece of a show. Not even close to comedy.
But I think I hear what people are saying. People are overdoing it, saying, "Oh, he's never had a funny joke in the show. He's never made a joke. He never jokes around. Is a little snarky sometimes." That's not what it is. He's not Batman. He doesn't just brood in silence, right? I mean, you're a much bigger Daredevil fan than I am, so you must agree with me.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I would say the most laughing he's ever, or the most he's ever made me laugh would be his No Way Home joke.
Well, that was yeah. Yeah, I guess.
So if they do him like that, that's a good Daredevil funny to me, how they did him in No Way Home. But anything else do you have to say, Cam? Because I'm about to just
go ahead. Yeah, you have the floor.
First, I was willing to say that She-Hulk Attorney at Law was a fun show. Well, allow me to say this now. This show is a disgrace.
This is the worst MCU show.
Yes, this is the worst MCU show. This is a disgrace to Kevin Feige and the Marvel Studios name. Marvel, you can do better than this. This is a disgrace. I don't laugh at any of your jokes. It's one of the most failed comedies that I've ever seen. The dialogue and the writing is terrible. And you are going to take Daredevil, this character who is supposed to be in dark, riveting stuff, and put him into a comedy of a show like this. I am just disgusted and done with this disgrace of a Marvel project. I am almost speechless at how bad it is at this point, Cam. Just give me a break, Marvel. You could do better than this.
No, I don't think the writing's good by any means. But like I said, here or there, I'll laugh at a joke. I like when she breaks the fourth wall. That entertains me. I think it's not a boring show like I said Miss Marvel was. That's the big thing for me, because Miss Marvel could go ahead if some of the middle episodes were just less boring. But if She-Hulk just continues to go down and down and down and gets worse than it already is, then we're gonna have a problem. A big problem. I mean,
this is what this all comes back to. I am not worried about it on the big screen yet, because Marvel's most recent films on the big screen, No Way Home epic, Multiverse of Madness epic, Love and Thunder good, Wakanda Forever looks epic. I'm not worried about this. I am not worried about them on the big screen as of yet, but it is absolutely stunning to me how much Marvel Studios has had a drop off in quality on the small screen this year. Last year, WandaVision, as you have said on this podcast, Cam, work of art. Loki, fantastic. Yep. What If, fantastic.
Even Falcon Winter Soldier compared to this.
Yes, so much
John
better
Walker is an amazing character.
This. Yes, so much better than this. Hawkeye, loved it. This year, Moon Knight, confusing as hell. This Marvel, as you say, just boring. Pace, sometimes I couldn't even understand what the characters were saying. And now this. This is the worst of them all. A comedy? Really? Because I'm not laughing or buying any of your jokes. They are putting out too many TV shows. They're putting out too many, and it's hurting the quality. They need to notice it. It is so obvious. It is sitting right in front of their eyes right now.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because there's so much they could do, and I think they will have a bounce back, because we'll have Agatha and the Coven of Chaos. We'll have Echo. Echo, I think, will be unique and different.
Secret Invasion looks great.
Secret Invasion, totally. What else do we have? What is it?
Got Armor Wars. Oh, yes, ones.
Armor Wars, Daredevil. So, I think it's gonna go, and plus we have What If Season 2.
Loki Season 2.
Loki Season 2. So I think this is gonna be the worst it's gonna be. Hopefully. Then I think it's gonna slowly rise back up, and then we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, but I would just like to say this, Marvel, I know you love to make money. You love to make money, actually, probably more than I've seen any studio want to make money. Actually, Star Wars does not come close to wanting to make money.
No, I disagree.
Want to make money.
Why? I disagree.
Why?
They're toy selling and all that stupid stuff.
Okay. Well, okay. You would pay more attention to that than me. If there's toy selling and stuff that I'm not realizing, then I fall back on that point.
But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. They do love money like a lot.
Marvel, you love money like basically nothing I have seen before. But you have to just you just have to look at your shows, and if they're not good quality, you have to quit the amount that you're making so that people will enjoy watching your shows more. If Marvel is gonna put out a bunch of TV shows and they're all gonna be epic and fantastic, I will take that in a heartbeat. But if I have to see less Marvel shows for the quality to go up, I will take that in the snap of a finger. Marvel, Wake up, stop being money makers, and focus on the quality of your TV shows instead of how many TV shows you were putting out, because boy, has your quality gone down this year. I actually think it has gotten worse and worse and worse by the show. Moon Knight, at least there is just a lot of creative stuff behind it, but Miss Marvel, blah. In this, worst Marvel project I've ever seen.
Yeah. And the thing with Moon Knight, I didn't think it being confusing was the worst part about it. I thought it was just some of the finale.
Very unfulfilling.
Episode 3. Meh. Everything else was solid. That's what I thought the worst of Marvel TV shows could get. I was a bit disappointed by it. Don't overall dislike the show. It's fine. There were some really good things I liked about it. Like, episode 5 was brilliant. But then you have Miss Marvel, and I was taken aback by the first episode. I was stunned, then it went down, and now it's just going down, 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 down. Alright, so now I would really like to talk about the Andor show. Alright, so I think it's going... I think it is the second best Star Wars show so far. What about you? What do you think of the first 3 episodes of Andor? Because we both haven't watched the 4th one yet. I'm going to watch it tonight, and as are you, I assume.
Yeah. So, episodes 1 and 2, I thought they were kind of setting up what the show would be about. They were both very slow
especially
episodes.
The first one, I think.
The slow and confusing aspects of episodes 1 and 2.
Don't think it was confusing. I thought that was fine.
Okay, but
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Still, like for me, like the slow and more confusing aspects of the show that other Star Wars shows did not have made me not enjoy episodes 1 and 2 per se. However, episode 3, there was a big switch in the quality of the show. I think it was, more clear, who was the good guy, who was the bad guy. So episode 3, I did enjoy. And I think this is setting up to be a show that is just going to get, more and more and more epic and action-packed as it goes on.
Yeah.
So I would say episodes 1 and 2, slow and confusing, didn't enjoy them. We're setting it up, but episode 3 was a very positive step in the right direction to me.
I see what you're saying, totally. I think it was very slow. I think it was just a bit mellow. I don't think it was great. But I wouldn't say it was a bad episode. I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy them. But compared to episode 3, that was just stunning. It was fantastic. I enjoyed every second of episode 3. Episode 2 I thought was better than 1, and they just keep getting better. Episode 4 has great reviews as well, so I think it's going to follow the trend of 3 and just keep getting more action-packed and better, which is what I want. And Eric Selvig from Thor is in the Star Wars universe now, which is cool to see. He is a really fantastic character, very mellow, very calm, which is really cool to see. I think Cassian Andor is just a cool character in general. And it's really nice to see all the practical sets they use and all the practical explosions and stuff, which just made me so happy. Because I believe it was the end of episode 3, there was a big explosion. I was like, that's real. They really did that, because they do that for movies. They do real explosions. But normally, if it was Star Wars, they just slap some cruddy CGI on it and call it a day. But no, not this. They went all the way. Full explosions. It was great. Maybe Marvel should listen to some of Andor's cinematographers and directors and all the people who work so hard, and the VFX artists who work so hard to do all this stuff. But yeah, loving Andor so far. Solid 8 out of 10 for me so far. But yeah, now we have some very distressing news for me at least, and you as Patriots fans. Mac Jones, well, thoughts.
I mean, just heartbreaking. Obviously, how can you have any trust in Brian Hoyer as a backup? 2 seasons ago, Cam Newton was out in a Monday night Chiefs game with COVID.
He's one of the worst quarterbacks of all time.
Brian Hoyer didn't even make it through the whole game. He had 2 atrocious red zone meltdowns. I've seen, interviews and stuff with him. Seems like a great guy. I love his... Yeah, he does, his journey and all the teams that he's been on throughout his career. Him as a journeyman and stuff is a cool story. But at the end of the day, when you look at the product on the field,
yeah,
you are just not going to be able to win with him.
Should have kept Stidham.
Who's gone now off with the Raiders. But look, if you are going to trot out the non-elite receivers that the Patriots are trotting out right now and Brian Hoyer as a backup, you're just not going to win. This is just going to be a down season.
I went from thinking wild card season to 6 wins max. I am being that harsh. I don't care what people have to say. 6 wins max. Brian Hoyer.
Well, with the way that it's going right now, it could even be 5 wins.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer is just one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever had the displeasure of watching. Every time you think, oh my gosh, maybe, oh no, he just threw a pick. It's quite annoying. And
by the way, I do agree with you about Jarrett Stidham, but he was an interception machine.
Yeah, he wasn't great either, but I think he was
as well. The Patriots have not done well with the quality of their backups in the last few years with Stidham and Hoyer. So look, I don't know what master plan
I'll tell you what master plan he has. I'll tell you what master plan he has. He has no plan! Oh my gosh, what a voice crack. He has no plan. He has no plan whatsoever.
I completely lost faith because I'm not there yet. I need to see a few more years, but it's not looking great right now. So let me ask you this, because you are phenomenally more harsh toward your own sports teams than I am. Do you hate Bill Belichick right now? Well, but are you totally out on this man after all the good that he's brought to you in your sporting life?
All right, I don't hate Bill Belichick. I don't think he's awful or anything. I just think it was Tom. It was Tom who was doing most of the work there. It was Tom who was carrying the team more than Bill Belichick.
Tom Brady didn't coach the defense, though.
That's true. That's a fair point. And I'm not saying Belichick's bad or anything, but I am saying that he isn't all he was cracked up to be, you know?
He has some proving to do, but my opposing argument to that would be in the year with Cam Newton, he had them winning games with Newton throwing for like less than 100 yards, and at one point last year he had them talked about as a Super Bowl contender. So if it keeps going down the path that it's going this season, well then we'll have to reconsider. But
then again, he can't prevent what happened to Mac. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. But on another note, I have not lost. I don't love what I'm seeing from the Patriots right now. I have not lost faith in Belichick yet, but I will say this, and I've said this to my dad off air. You can't underestimate the leader that Tom Brady is. He went into Tampa Bay in a COVID season and won them a Super Bowl. First year with a new team, COVID era, wins them a Super Bowl. Back in January, divisional round game, they're down 27-3, very limited at the receiver position, ties the game up, they only lose by a field goal. You cannot deny the uniter and the leader that guy is on the football field.
You know how I feel about Tom. I mean...
You hate him. And we will always disagree on that for life. We have argued about that so much on this show, we don't even need to argue about it again. Our points have been very clear on that. You hate him, and I just...
I don't want to say hate, because he did contribute a lot to us, but I don't...
Think about the joy that he brought you during your sports life.
Yeah. He also disappointed me big time, and now he's just being insane, and...
How is he
should have just retired. Jeez.
Why?
I mean... He
was playing at an all-time high last season. Why retire when you're playing at an all-time high level? Why retire?
He has a family, which is none of our business, but I mean, none of this would have happened if he just retired. And he's just so dead set on being with another team and just ending his...
You're hurt! You are hurt by his leaving of the Patriots. That's why you're saying this. It's from your
I think everyone's hurt by that. That was ridiculous.
He had no receivers in his final season. They weren't meant to be with each other anymore.
He should have retired then.
He was with him for 2 decades.
That doesn't mean...
They brought them 6
Then he should have retired.
6 Super Bowls. Give me a break.
He should have retired.
Why should he have retired when he played at the level he played at these last 2 seasons?
His last season, the level he played at was not that wasn't Tom Brady's last season. It wasn't.
But I'm saying he shouldn't have retired because of the quality he has played at in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we'll disagree about this till the day
for life until the day we die. Yeah. And it's great content for the show. I cannot think of 2 things that we are literally so far apart on.
I know.
Me love and you hate Tom Brady and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. I will be shocked if we ever disagree about things like we do on those. I can actually never think. And it's great for this show. I love it. I love it for the content of the show, but I will be shocked if I ever disagree on somebody to the extent that we disagree on Tom Brady and Star Wars 8-9.
Yeah. Totally, yeah. It's always fun to have a nice debate on the show.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah, we've said what we need to say, and I just think the Bills, man. Josh Allen is a beast.
Yeah, well, something I'll be interested to track from this last weekend. The Bills lost to the Dolphins and the Chiefs lost to the Colts. Something that'll be interesting for me to follow there is with the Bills and the Chiefs. Is that just one loss middle of the regular season?
That
we'll be able to shrug it off,
or
will it be a more long-term thing? I lean toward just one loss, but that's something that I'll be
Do I think it was a bad game by either team?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if they can bounce back, because if you are like a championship Kendra, you'll bounce back the next week from a loss like that.
Yeah, I just see it as a bump in the road. It could have gone either way, you know. I think Josh Allen played great. I know because I had him on my fantasy team and he did amazing.
My dad is in a fantasy league, my dad has been in a fantasy league twice. One time,
he only dressed Patriots players one time.
Yeah, that's that. Well, about 10 years ago, and he was invited into another fantasy league this season. What do you think he did?
Did he just draft Patriots players?
Patriots players and Tom Brady.
Does he know how bad this is for his fantasy team? He's going to come in last place.
Of course he knows how bad it is, but he doesn't care because of his love for his team.
Wow. That I am impressed. That is dedication right there.
It's bleeding Patriot blue and red and white, which I think are their main three colors. By the way, before we exit on this football thing, so maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't. Michael Irvin went on a rant about the Dallas Cowboys being 2-0 under Cooper Rush yesterday on First Take. Listen, Michael Irvin, you are comedy gold for First Take. I love having you on, and I love seeing you have to explain Cowboys losses. But Michael Irvin, as comedic and great for First Take as you are, folks, appreciate Michael Irvin for the comedy, but do not trust anything he says about the Dallas Cowboys. He is such a homer. It is unbelievable. If you are new to sports, I just want to get this across to you. Love, cherish, and adore Michael Irvin for the comedy that he can provide. But he is such a homer when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. You can't trust a word that he says. Trust everything else he says, but nothing that he says about the Dallas Cowboys. He is so untrustworthy when it comes to that. Yeah. Like, it's unbelievable. But on another note, his rant was hilarious and epic. He literally, it is unbelievable how loud that guy can scream. They literally need to hand him towels so we can wipe sweat off of his face. I mean, the guy is just a treasure to modern TV. Is all that I have to say.
Hey, Will, quick question: do you think he's better than Shaq?
Tough question there. Hold on, Shaq. I can't stay. Listen, Ernie Johnson and Kenny the Jet Smith, I like. But Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal make me hate Inside the NBA. If you compare Inside the NBA to NBA Countdown on ESPN, they are so far apart in terms of their quality levels. It is unbelievable. NBA Countdown actually gets you ready for the games. They teach you stuff. Inside the NBA is just a disaster. I'm not a fan in any way.
Shaq does make me laugh sometimes when he falls out of his chair.
Yeah, but it is Shaq's mumbling and Barkley's junk talk, which makes me despise that show. I'm sorry to all the people who cherish Inside the NBA and have watched it for years and it's their thing, but I am out on that show.
Yeah, I'm not a big Shaq guy. He actually kind of annoys me in general, not just for First Take.
Humbling. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and he's a good basketball player, I guess, but...
Of course. He is a legend of a basketball player, but he's not a legend of a sports commentator or analyst. Sports
commentators, Greg Olson, as you know, former Carolina Panthers tight end. Color
commentary for Fox now.
Whoa! Right. He did the Pats game. Whoa! Was it, or did he do the Tampa Bay? He did Pats. Right?
He did the Tampa Bay Packers game because him and Kevin Burkhardt are the new number one team for Fox because Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are off calling Monday night football for ESPN now. But when I've listened to Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson, I've been impressed. I think they're both very good.
I think Greg Olson's really good.
I agree. Eddie, and I can also tell, like with Tony Romo and Chris Collinsworth, I can tell that he just loves the game. He has such a joy in his voice whenever he talks. Yeah. So I love listening to a color commentator like a Chris Collinsworth, Tony Romo, Greg Olson, and I can just tell that they love the game. Like, I love to hear that in a color commentator.
Yeah, and I actually really don't like Tony Romo. He makes me mad.
Yeah, but his predicting and stuff is so good. In the AFC
he
knows
Championship
the game,
I'll give him that.
In Patriots Chiefs, the AFC Championship game, he literally said, "Oh, all right, they're gonna do this, and then and then Gronk's gonna go out wide, and Brady's gonna throw it to him." He was spot on 2 seasons ago. He correctly predicted a Chiefs-Bucks Super Bowl, and he also said that the Patriots would be back in the playoffs last season. He was spot on there. The guy is just a genius. Honestly, I'm so impressed with him.
Yeah. Now another segue. Movies we have seen recently. Wow, what an awful segue into another topic. Jeez, that was terrible. So, Will, movies you've seen recently. I'll let you go first. Let's hear it.
I'll just go with the big one that I've seen recently. Last Friday, I saw the re-release of Avatar, and I've got to be honest, it was probably the most visually stunning thing that I've ever seen. I saw it on 3D, on the big screen. It was just, look, the movie itself and the dialogue and the story and everything, very good, epic, very impressed. But the visuals, next level. A visually stunning masterpiece of a film. And if you have not seen Avatar on the big screen yet, get out there or go see Way of the Water on the big screen this December, because you need to see it on the big screen or you will not enjoy it on the same level.
I mean, I've seen Avatar a few times on just regular TV, but I don't want to go back and see it in theaters. I don't. It just doesn't. I didn't love it. I think it's solid. It's a good movie. It's visually stunning, even on my small-ish TV. I mean.
Well, I don't think I would enjoy it to the level that I did on the small screen, and that is why you have to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
But I will watch.
In my mind, it is very good. But the visuals put it over the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch Way of the Water in theaters. I will.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. That sounds like a fun theater experience. Did you end up seeing it in IMAX or? Yeah,
I believe I saw it in. I believe it was 3D and IMAX. Oh, wow. Yeah, I believe so. Or but it was. But yeah, had the 3D glasses and. Wow. Had a great time.
Yeah, that must have been great, yeah. Movie I saw recently, I've been, Tom Hardy, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Great in Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Yes, a friend of mine is a big fan of the Mad Max movies. Okay. So he actually said I should watch this. So I watched Mad Max Fury Road. What a insane movie. In a good way. It was crazy. And, like, it's about, like, car people like that movie. I'm not a car guy. It was just a pure action. It felt like an 80s action movie in modern day. George Miller, who directed the first, second, third Mad Max movies, I believe, directed this one, and boy, did he deliver. It was fantastic. Like I said, not a car guy, but whoa. They had people on huge trucks playing a guitar with fire coming out of it while the trucks are moving, while people are fighting other people. It's insane. And there's a good story too. It's very intense. It's a bit brutal, but it's all in good fun, and it was a really enjoyable film. Tom Hardy is fantastic. Just the emotion he gives in this performance, just how the vibe that you get from watching him, that he's been through it all. He's just done. He wants to get out. He just wants to live his life. He's done. It's just impressive, and I love it. So now I'm going to have to go back and watch all 3 of the original Mad Max movies, now that I've seen Fury Road. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. It's very intense. But yeah, check that out.
And speaking of Tom Hardy, there will be a Venom 3, right?
Correct. Which
do you know when that'll come out? When's the projected release date? I have no clue.
But I know Madam Web is supposed to release in 2024, which I actually heard today. And I've heard a lot of things are going to be releasing in 2024. Thunderbolts, the Spider-Man video game, the second one, the Wolverine game, the second, what's it called? Miles Morales movie.
Across the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Yeah, so it's
and then for Sony Marvel projects, besides Across the Spider-Verse, is there anything? But you told me that you've heard bad things about Kraven the Hunter,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's in...
Tell me the whole story behind that again, and what's all the bad stuff about it.
Now, I get how they could do this, totally. But in the comics, he's this hunter guy.
Okay.
Now he's an environment activist, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not his character. And he's a villain. So make him an environment activist. That doesn't make him seem like a villain. He's a villain. These movies about villains. So he should have stayed as a hunter who killed animals. Do you understand? I mean...
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's bad or anything, that he likes to save the environment, but he's a villain. He's not supposed to be a good guy.
Right, yeah. So, like, in this, like, Sony Spider-Verse group of films with the Venoms and Morbius and Kraven the Hunter, what else has been confirmed besides Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3 for upcoming Sony projects?
Madam Web, that's...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's supposed to be the Sony multiverse movie,
Multiverse, cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
I believe Andrew is going to be in that. We're going to get Andrew.
By the way, because these are all, like, Spider-Man villains and this is, like, Spider-Verse stuff, do you think they're setting up a possible Sinister Six film?
Totally. 100%. They already tried to do one in, like, 2015, I think.
They were going to try and do it for The Amazing Spider-Man 3, but they moved on to Tom Holland.
And you can see all the attempts to set it up. And in Harry Osborn's office, you can see the Doc Ock arms. You can see a bunch of other Easter eggs.
No Way Home came the closest. Well,
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse had a number of villains, but, like, in terms of live action, No Way Home came the closest, and they did an amazing job. And I love that movie, even though it was great to see it on the big screen again. Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, was a total, I wish I had cash around me, money grab.
Yeah. Marvel likes money. You can't blame them for that. They're a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah, but try and create good content over trying to make money. You have all the money that you need. Worry about content over money at this point.
Yeah, I guess, but it's their jobs. They need to pay their VFX artists, all their hardworking VFX artists that just don't get enough credit. But that's all we have for today's episode of the Everything Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.